G'day everybody, my name is Elliot Waters and you're listening to the Dysregulated Podcast. As always, thank you for tuning in. Alright, so today's been a tough one. I won't tell you all about it because I need to get it off my chest. It's nothing too serious, but it's more just this state of mind that I've slipped into and the problems I have getting out of that state of mind and what it means when I am, unfortunately, enveloped in negative emotion, which has happened today. So I just finished then my interview with the heads of the Healthy Heads in Trucks and Sheds organisation, which was really good. As I expected, there was no job going yet, but they are committed to growth, which is needed because the transport industry has big problems with mental ill health. The statistics don't lie. Out of 19 of the major industries in Australia, transport logistics ranks 19th when it comes to mental health outcomes. Not good. So there's a big need for organisations like Healthy Heads to be getting into these trucks and getting into these sheds and improving some of these mental health outcomes for the tough men and women who drive this country forward. And I, of course, would like to think I'm one of those people as well. But today, it's just, I've been so negative. And partly it's because, so yesterday, today's, what day? Today's Monday. So yesterday was Sunday. So you know what I usually do on Sundays? Sleep. And sleep I did. I slept all day. I slept all night. And then this morning, I forced myself up and awake to try and, get going because I knew this interview was coming up. Let's get in a good frame of mind, forget about this sleeping stuff and the stress. And oh man, I was so stressed. When I woke up this morning, I was so stressed. There was just a list in my mind of things that need to be done. And the priority given to them all was urgent. So I've got all this list in my brain. I've got urgent priorities everywhere. And I feel like I don't have the ability to tick them off because I'm laying in bed, can barely get out of bed. I'm so depressed in this moment. Thankfully, it's mostly transient, but at the same time, this is where spiraling for me comes very quickly. I'm in bed, I can't get up, so I'm powerless, or at least I feel disempowered. My mind is just racing with all these things I need to do, which have all this amazing significance. And of course, if I don't do them, the consequences is something terrible. So I'm stressing, and I've got all these things to do, but the more I think about it, the heavier the world seems, and I just get into bed and bury more. And I've got to fight out of that. And that's what I did this morning with the help of some medication. I got out, had a shower, felt terrible, and I felt terrible all day, but I've been out moving around. But I've been feeling terrible all day. I've been waiting for this interview for, a week, 2 weeks now. This was the big one. I wanted to be in a great frame of mind, but I just couldn't. I don't know if that was, I don't know if you could tell in the interview that there was this extra burden that I seemed to be carrying. The weight of the world appeared on my shoulders, or appears to be on my shoulders, because that's what I felt like. Just this negativity. I just couldn't get into it. When I think of the transport industry and how I want to get back into maybe, in some capacity in the road transport industry, I get really excited. It really inflames, amplifies my autistic fixation when it comes to transport and logistics. And it's that excitement, maybe it comes from autism, who cares? That excitement is the most powerful fuel that there is. And today I was trying to harness that excited, powerful fuel, and I just couldn't do it. I've just been so flat all day flat. Even now, thinking about the road transport industry actually does the opposite now. It's making me, it makes me sort of feel disappointed because I have this idea in my head that we're not going to make it, you know what I mean? Like it's always two sides to how I feel. It's black or white, remember? BPD, ADHD, very black and white thinking, OCD as well. And autism, I don't know, throw them all in there. It's all black and white thinking. But that's the thing. When I'm thinking that things are good and I can contribute and I would be valuable to the industry and, I'm going to get picked up at any moment, I'm sure, for this new job, that just burns with excitement. The fuel, it's beautiful. It is beautiful. And, watch out when I'm in that mood, nothing can stop me. But when I'm in this mood, when there is no fire, oh man, like, I don't know. I'll try and explain how I feel right now. I feel heavy, like my head feels heavy. My chest is definitely feeling tight. and also this heavy burden. I don't know, everything feels heavy, which means that it takes more effort to do everything. Like, for example, I finally got a haircut today and got my beard trimmed, which I've been meaning to do for so long. But, I got to go to the shopping centre to get that done and those people, and you got to have the awkward talk with the barber, and it's not a fun experience. But at the same time, usually when I go and when I leave, I think, hey, look at me. I'm hot again. How good's this? Watch out, chickie babes. Elliot's back, baby. But there was none of that today. It was just, great. I've got the haircut, beard trim, whatever. Anyway, on to the next problem. And that's what I felt like. It was like, it wasn't, hey, we accomplished something here. Dopamine's flowing. This is great. Feeling awesome. Let's do the next task so we can get more of that dopamine flowing. There was none of that today. It was just flat. I walked out, I can't. It's so hard to explain this feeling, although I think we all know the feeling very well, when there's just no inspiration. There's just no spark. It's just, everything's just dull, heavy, and that's what it feels like. Everything is just dull and heavy. And even my vision, like, trying to explain sort of the physical effects of this dull mood. Like, my vision's a bit blurry and everything's a bit sort of fuzzy as well. I'm a bit disassociated. I'm not really locked into the moment because I don't want to be locked into the moment, because the moment is full of failure and the inability to move forward and do the things that I should be doing. That is what the current reality is. That is not a good place to be. So what I need to do somehow, I need to harness this energy when I can, and somehow store it and use it for moments like this. I don't have any extra storage in my psyche for all this excitement. I don't know how to tap into it and sort of use it to start fueling myself again, because the tank's empty. I don't know. It just appears on its own accord. And that's what's really hard with this whole mental illness thing as well, and that a lot of people don't understand, which is, I'm not choosing for this to happen. I haven't said, okay, I'm going to have a few bad days. I need to do this. I need to plan it. Monday is going to be a bad day. I'll lock that. There's none of that. I'm at the mercy of my psyche and what it wants to do, and what the passengers that are inside, all these different parts, what they want to do. And me, the self, doesn't always have the final word. And today's been a good example of that. I really wanted to get super excited about trucking. I've got all, get really excited, watch trucking videos and stuff, get inspired, but also think of mental health stuff too, And I wanted to pop out an episode that is not like this. This is not the subject matter that I wanted to do today, but hey, this is as real as it gets. This is in real time. I am flat as a tack. But there's no choosing, the mental illnesses, the parts, whatever you want to call it, whatever, they often are the ones with the final say, not me, the self. And I did not want today to be a flat sort of, not emotionless, because there's emotionless in a sense, but disempowered. There's no inspiration, just flat. That is not what I wanted today when I had this great opportunity to be interviewed by, the head honchos of Healthy Heads in Trucks and Sheds, which is a great organisation that I hope somehow I flunked a decent interview, and maybe in the future I'll get a position there, because they do exactly what I want to do. And I think there's a great potential there. But in days like this, I just can't see it. I say it just then, there's great potential. They're doing what I want to do. But I'm saying it, and it's just flat, empty words. Like, trust me, when I'm talking to you right now, right in this second, there is no, excited, of the future. I'm excited of the future. I'm picturing myself working for them, and doing these amazing things in the transport logistics industry. That's what I want to be feeling. That's what I want to be saying to you guys, and I want to feel it as I'm saying it. But the problem is, it's just flat. They're just empty words. And now I need to figure out a way to get out of this mood. But anyway, that's all I'm going to do for today. Just a little bit of insight into when things aren't going great. And as I said, and this is a point I really want to get across, which is, I don't have any choice in this. And often people with mental illnesses, they don't have any choice in it either. These depressive episodes, these anxious sort of storms often seem to come out of nowhere and just, they're just doing their thing, and I've just got to wait for it to pass. And that's exactly what's happening now. So hopefully soon I'll be able to do another episode, which will be a bit more positive, a bit more inspirational, and maybe even tell you how I got out of this mood. I'm not sure. But for me to do that, I need to get going, and I need to start doing some things that hopefully will bring some of that, just positive emotion in general, so I can use that and scaffold off a very, I might do some mindfulness, some colouring in, right? And then there'll be a little bit of positive emotion come in because, I'm achieving something, I'm doing something that's enjoyable, which it is. I do like colouring in. And hopefully, then there'll be that little bit of positivity, and then I'll move on to something else. Maybe I'll read a book, and get a little bit more positivity there. Then all of a sudden, scaffolding, and climbing out of this flat mood, because it's not fun. This is not fun at all, and I really don't enjoy this. So a bit of an abrupt ending, but I need to get out there and I need to climb out of this hole. So I'll talk to you soon. Thank you for listening. You can contact me on Instagram at elliot.t.waters. Please give the show a great rating and you can share around with your mates. Until next time, I'll be much happier, I promise. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.